back with our favorite subject, with our favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to analyze this Am I the Asshole post, guys. I want your unbiased opinions, as always.
Okay.
All right? Get into this. This one's kind of is a little touchy subject, so, emotions here, guys.
I got it.
Am I the asshole for holding my ex-husband's hand at our son's funeral? Already, tears falling down my face. Come on. Okay. Recently, my ex-husband, 35 male, and I, 33 female, experienced a devastating loss of our son. In the midst of our grief, we found comfort in each other's presence and shared memories about our boy. During the funeral service, I reached out and held my ex-husband's hand for support, which seemed natural given the circumstances. However, his current wife, 34 female, said that it's inappropriate to show affection towards an ex-spouse. While I understand her perspective, what I felt was a moment of shared grief with my ex-husband. So am I the asshole for holding my ex-husband's hand after losing our son? That one it's slippery slope in my opinion.
No, not at all.
You don't
bro.
think so?
No, that he is not the asshole.
Okay. Give us your take.
I can only imagine what the loss of a child is,
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. Because, you're never supposed to bury your kid. It's always supposed to be the other way around. And for you to bear witness to your child no longer being on this earth, there's only such a select few of people who not only know that feeling, but can share that feeling with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're not together anymore, 100%. But they do share something in common, which is they love this kid, they raised this kid. And now they are probably the only two people who understand the feeling that's going on at this funeral, right?
Right.
So for her to kind of look for support in somebody who only they would know what this feels like, you need to take like a step back and think of, this is a human. Like, these are two humans who are supporting each other. It has nothing to do with, oh, they were divorced, oh, they were together. No, it's two people who love the same person who are grieving together.
Mm-hmm.
And for his current wife to even take it that way, it's so immature.
Yeah.
Like,
Not only immature, selfish.
Yeah, like how do you see such a moment and put yourself there? Like, is that cheating? How dare you overstep? No, it's two people who are supporting each other because they don't know how else to grieve, Like, I honestly think the current wife, the husband needs to talk to her and set some boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you when you get a divorce and you have a child, that significant other who is no longer your partner will always be in your life because you're raising the kid. They will always maintain a relationship, especially during a time of such sadness where it's the passing of a child. And for her to see this moment and put herself there, like, I'm jealous, like, grow up.
Yeah.
I
agree. I agree with your sentiment. I don't think that the storyteller is the asshole in any sense. Like, she put it into the perfect words too. She said it was a moment of shared grief, right? And that should not be looked at as like romantic or like, in any kind of way other than that, because they're literally at the funeral. It's not like this happened at the crib or anything like that. Like, this is, everyone can see that you guys are at a time of like literally rock bottom,
Mhm.
And the holding of someone's hand to me, it doesn't signify emotions and a sense of love, Like, you hold your hand with the people that you have love for, but it's not isolated to significantly the people you're in love with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah, I agree. This person is very selfish, the current wife, that is. And I would actually go as far to say that the person who's suffering the most in this right now from the story is the husband.
Mhm.
I think he has to deal with the gravity of losing his son. He has to deal with now this weird jealousy coming from his current wife, who should be supporting him
Yeah.
at his most time of need, probably ever,
Mhm.
right? But is now choosing to make this about herself, right? And I think that that's a very clear red flag of a shitty human being.
100%.
If you can't put your own pride aside at the funeral of a child, there's something wrong with you. And I think that's going to somewhere down the line cause issues in that relationship.
Agreed.
That's just a theory of mine.
Did she bring that up at the moment, or did she bring that up on the same day?
Let me confirm.
Does that mention that?
Does that change things for you?
Because yeah, you guys are phrasing it sort of like she said it on
It doesn't say what
the
time.
day. Hey,
Yeah, it doesn't say the
inappropriate.
timing. It just says during the funeral service, I reached out and held my ex-husband's hand for support, which seemed natural given the circumstances. However, his current wife said it is inappropriate to show affection towards an ex-spouse.
Does that
Yeah,
change things
she's
for you?
summarizing it like it happened shortly after that.
Okay.
Hey, like it does change because we can't tell people how to feel. It does change. It speaks to her insecurities, and we don't know what type of relationship they two had. Let's say there was infidelity in the relationship prior, and the fact that she sees them two touching, it speaks to something inside of her for prior experience in their relationship. This is just an assumption that we're placing on them, right? That I'm placing on them because we don't. She summarized it like it was some sort of after thing that said, "Oh, I don't like you guys touching. It's not appropriate for you guys." Well, she probably told that to her husband later on. Hey, I don't like you touching your ex-wife. I don't feel that. I understand the moment, but it doesn't work for me. And he probably phrased it another way to the ex-wife, saying, "Hey, she doesn't want us touching on
I don't
another
know,
sort of
man.
way."
I would have to say I disagree with you, fam, because that's
Yeah.
a lot of assuming for the actual story we got.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, there's more context that we don't know about. From a face value, I don't think that there's any room for the current wife to be showing any signs of jealousy or even like like her own pride
Yeah.
at the timing in which a child is lost.
Face value, we always have to run with I try to remember with these am I the assholes? It's one person's perspective.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And she summarized it in a way that that's how it sounded to me. That shortly after, it's inappropriate. We all agree on that.
What's inappropriate?
That's not
Making that
your
comment.
child's death.
Mm-hmm.
That's their child. So they're sharing a moment
Mm-hmm.
of their child. And like you said, a moment where they're the only two right now that can understand this pain. Everyone, yes, we're all in love, but that's their seed that had passed away right there. So we all agree on that point. The way it's summarized, it makes it sound like she said it shortly after both of them, where she could have said it later on, where that's just an assumption.
But
Face value, the ex-wife's the asshole if it happened in that context.
can you agree that that comment should never have been made?
Again, I can't speak to her insecurities and what they may have gone through as a relationship.
Insecurities aside, though, do you think that that's a comment that should be said?
No.
Okay.
But
then I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but
hear
we
what you're
can't
saying.
speak to what's going on her mentally.
I don't think there's a time where that would ever be appropriate.
That's what I just said.
You
That's
know?
what I was just asking him.
Yeah, I get where you were going with that. I don't like, even if she's insecure, and to your point, even if there was infidelity, you know, I'm not justifying it, but I think this is the one time where you're able to. They're not even hugging, bro. They're just holding hands, and they're sharing grief. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know, even if you were the wife at the time, how you can justify that as an immoral act.
But we're putting general logic on someone's emotion where we can't. Not everyone
She's an
understands
adult,
the next
though.
person. Huh?
It's different when you're referring to an adult where, yeah, of course, you can be emotional and see
Yeah.
this as something where you're not comfortable with, but you need to be able to step back and see the real reason why that happened.
Mhm.
It didn't happen because he wanted to cheat with her. No, it was because they were each other's support system for this child. And if she's not able to put two and two together and actually put her own insecurities above that, even after all that thought process, is this even a person you want to be with?
That's a question for him.
I don't think insecurity is a solid reason
Yeah.
that you're able to justify why it's unfair for them to do what they're doing. You know?
I get that. But I'm just trying to face value, we all agree. I just want to put a little bit of spin on it.
Like a devil's advocate?
From her perspective, what could have the situation have been?
Yeah.
And printing wise, it doesn't sound like a few days later. Printing wise, it makes it sound like she's an asshole. But different perspectives at the time, we don't know what she could have been thinking at the same time and what type of relationship they may have that may have gotten in her mind.
Okay.
For that.
I would say, and we'll wrap it up here. I would say I disagree with you because unless this person blatantly lied and it wasn't just hand holding, then I don't think there's any room for any jealousy, insecurities, especially at that time. So I'll just leave it at that.
But
That's,
again, we're putting morals and logic on emotion.
yeah, I mean, I'm just taking the story at face value, but I'm also seeing it as, if we are to dissect what could have happened, then we have to look at the storyteller with like an asterisk as well too. You know, like if maybe they made out and it wasn't a hand holding thing, and then the wife got upset. That's can seem a little bit more justified. You know what I mean?
During that time period.
Yeah. Why not? If you see your wife,
I think it's kind of like it's a jump, you know.
I mean, it's still
Like,
it's
what are the chances that happens? We're in such a sad time. That's a time where you guys.
That's what I'm saying. So
People
at face
feel
value,
vulnerable, so you never know.
anything's possible. But at face value, from what the story is telling us, I don't think that there's any place for jealousy and insecurities for the current wife of this person.
What he said.
Yeah, the way
What he said and what he said.
the way the story is told, yeah, then
Yeah.
she's not the asshole.
Mhm.
The ex-wife, the new wife's the asshole.
Right.
But yeah,
So we're all in agreement that this person is not the asshole.
Terrible human.
Tell us what you
he's a
think.
terrible human.
Terrible human, bro. Like, there's the type of people I don't want around me. But go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Tell us what you think in the comments below. We really want to know.
What type of people do you want around you?
Good humans.
Gotcha.